Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Follow the Leader podcast. And I'm your host, Harvey L. Mitchell Jr., aka Nightlife. And thank y'all for joining us. I know we've been gone for a minute. This is episode 73, Work Me versus Home Me. Very great topic that I like to be able to touch on, man. It's been brilliant, the responses that we've been getting for this podcast and welcoming in a new season. And I'm just so happy to be able to do this. This is something I love to do. I have prioritized a lot of things over the top of being able to do this, but I wanted to etch out space to be able to do this. I'm very proud of some of the things that I have coming forward with this. There are guests that I have that are a prestige honor for me to be able to have on that will be interviews that allow a different take and a different taste on this. This is a commentary podcast for the most part, but I will be having those interviews in. I got some special people coming along. I'm really, really happy about being able to do that. Talk to some other leaders, talk to some other mentors in the space, in the world that's making this place and making these workplaces a better place to be able to be at. So I thank all of my guests for being on when they get here. But as for me, I'm glad that I'm here approaching, this year and the outlook on this year. I'm very positive and looking forward to being able to create some great content that people will be able to take away from here. So if you get an opportunity, you can check out some of the previous podcasts we had on YouTube. If you want to be able to check that out, I will be able to post that real quick. You can go ahead and pick up merch there, but also if you want to be able to check out the previous episodes, you can subscribe to the YouTube at Mitchell Media Review 524, or you can scan the QR at the top. All right. So as far as being able to get into this work me versus home me, how did this come about? This came about from my wife. My wife was really the one that generated this. She made the comment in the process of talking. She was like, "You're so ambitious. You're so ambitious at work. You do so many things. You have all this. You get all these accolades. You do all of this stuff. You create this great environment and stuff like that at work. I just wish that you could bring work you home." So I thought about that. Like, bring work me home. And then she just went down a list of things that, had to do with that, as far as me being proactive, reactive, attentive, a listener, a counselor, a planner, a problem solver, a delegator, ambitious, and a tone setter. Oh. So I don't bring that at home? And then I really thought about it, and I was like, I really don't. I really don't. Some of the reason why is because the energy that it takes to be able to do that on a consistent basis every day at work is hard. The people are very beautiful people that I work with. They are amazing. They will run through a wall on fire for me if I ask. And I really do have a strong appreciation and just, a love for that. But trying to make sure that their needs are met takes a lot of energy. Trying to make sure that you are meeting you're meeting the goals and you're hitting all of the marks as far as the standards with your leadership, your upper leadership, the people that, that are, kind of telling you what to do. You have to make sure that you have, you serving two masters at the point, because I'm here for my employees and making sure that they're taken care of. But I'm also here to be able to meet the targets and stuff like that, upper leadership would like to do that. And I have a great boss that allows me flexibility to be able to take care of things and do things, and has trust in me and trust in our staff to be able to get those things done. So doing all of these things is paramount to being able to make my work environment a tenable work environment. As far as me being proactive, I try to make sure that I'm on top of things. My day starts very early. I'm already in the process of planning what I need to be able to do on my commute to work. I'm already trying to pull strings to be able to get things in order. We may have some sick calls. We may have these things. We got to plot this out. We got to worry about getting into this meeting and being able to implement this and that, and take care of these customers, and take care of these employees, and do all of this stuff. It's a lot of things a lot of strings that have to be pulled into that. And then you have to be reactive. So when things happen, so when things break, you got to be able to have a plan in place to be able to fix those things. You have to be able to, when people break, you have to be able to, find ways to be able to manage them and get them in order and take care of them. I'm always of the, hey, if something happens to your family, take care of your family. So I want them to have that assurance that I'm not going to be like, yeah, but can you take care of that patient? You know what I'm saying? Or can you take care of that customer? I want to make sure that they know that, they're supported in those manners as far as when things are breaking for them. Being attentive to their needs, having an open door policy when people come in, and be able to say all type of things and get things off their chest. And it may not be the things that you necessarily want to hear, because they may be barking on some stuff about what you're doing and how you're going about processes. But you have to be able to allow them that, that road to be able to cross to do that. And it takes energy and empathy to be able to do that, to listen, and then to just be able to listen, to take in information, to be able to take in things and take in, issues that they may be able to have, and be able to try to, lead them to being able to solve their own problems. You lead that. And that's part of the counselor portion of that. Listening and then providing counsel, okay, what do you think that is going to be the best course of action here? Letting them lead themselves to their own solutions to be able to roll that out and help. Planning, having things in order, having things weeks down the line that are set up so where when you are implementing those, that everything goes as planned. Delegating, trusting in the people that are in your building to be able to take care of things for you, and not just having Thanos theory and going, I do it myself. I'll do it myself. You figure, I'll do it myself. I can do it faster. I can get it done quickly. You know what I'm saying? I can get it done the way that I want to do it. But that's not teaching anything. Having that moment of delegation and being able to allow people to be problem solvers for you will go a long way to being able to take a lot of weight off your shoulders. And I do that. I trust the people that are in my building, because the people that have the boots on the ground know way more shit than I do. They just do. They know more stuff than I do. So I have the ability to trust in them to be able to make the right decisions and the right calls in those moments. And then when I'm not there, then things still run smoothly. And then just me being ambitious. I am ambitious. I am a guy that never looks and be like, all right, well, this seat is warm and comfortable. I'm going to sit here for the rest of my life. I'm not. I'm looking up. The mountain peak is up. So I have to climb up. So I'm looking towards the next thing. I'm looking towards the next setting. I'm looking towards the next opportunity for me to be able to improve and to create more of a windfall financially for me and my family, and to also be able to set myself up to do more as a leader. Being a tone setter when you walk in a building, it's like having people just like, if you coming in and you got your head down, you got poo-poo face all the time, and then you just are, Eeyore the donkey, woe is me, or being angry and being upset and being grunting and not talking to nobody, then that creates that whole feel for the building, and the building just walks around like that. Coming in, greeting, hey, how are you doing? How's your weekend? How's such going on? Hey, how's your kid? I noticed that you were sick yesterday. How are you feeling? You feeling better? Like, doing all of those things sets the tone for other people. It sets the tone for apathy. It sets the tone for caring. It sets the tone for warmth. It sets the tone for service, to be able to pass that on to customers and patients. It allows them to be able to do that, because the tone has been set by me walking in the building doing that. Now, as far as me being able to bring these things home, the reason why that I don't necessarily bring these things home, just as I said kind of at the beginning, is that once I'm off, it's time to unplug. So once I unplug, all the air gets let out of the balloon. I am in relaxed mode. I don't want to tell anybody anything to do. I don't want to pull any levers. I don't want to be trying to organize a bunch of shit. I don't want to do that. I just want to go home and kick my feet up and have a beer. I just want to go home and put my headphones on and do some mixing, some mastering, some recording, some podcasting, do all of those things as getaways and as just a reflective moments for me to be able to have. I want to be able to turn on a movie and watch with the family. I want to be able to catch up on our DVR stuff and, watch TV with my wife. I want to be able to do those things. I don't want to come in and run another building. And that's a tough thing to say, and it may be a selfish thing to say, but that's kind of where I am with that. Could I do better with that? Yes, I can do a lot better with that. I think there are some things that my wife is right about that is bringing home work me, because the one thing with a bullet that I really need to bring home is just being a listener, because I don't listen. My mind is constantly, the hamster in my mind is constantly running around in the wheel. And I'm thinking of all kinds of shit at that particular time. And people are talking to me and I'm not focused. And so I'm not a good listener at home. I get talked to, sometimes I get looked in right in the face. Hey, blah, 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 I'm doing this. We're doing this. Okay. Hey, all right, break. What are we doing again? Hey, did you remember this? You remember this? No. And it's because of the simple fact that I wasn't being a good listener at that time. I'm not focusing. And I do need to do a better job of doing that. Listening, reacting, listening, reciting what's being told to me, keeping things in order and managing those things, because that hurts people's feelings when you don't listen to them. It hurts their feelings. It makes them feel like that you don't give a damn. And I have to work on that at home. I do so much listening at work that, again, I just turn the switch off on the commute home. And that may not be the best thing for me to be able to do. So I do definitely got to fix that. As far as being a planner, yeah, I wish I could plan better and be able to get things in order, and put people in places as far as home, with the kids. I don't give the kids too much, grief when things are not done, because of the simple fact that they're, putting themselves in position, having great educations. They take care of things. They're not out all hours of the night. They're not, police are not knocking on my door trying to figure out, trying to tell me about what my kid did. They're not on drugs. They're not out here, messing around with a bunch of people. Like, they don't do that. So when they don't do that, it's like, it's hard for me to be able to kind of turn that up and be like, well, and get on their case. But I can do better as far as being able to help to put them in the positions of what they need to do, and teaching them skills of organization, and teaching them skills of time management, and teaching them skills of being able to just be like, I don't have, and the one thing that I don't have in this building is somebody to delegate to, because, and I say this building, in this home, is somebody to delegate to, because there's no leader. Out of my kids, there's no one that is the one that is the point guard for everything. And I think a lot of families have a point guard. I don't have a point guard. There's not one person that goes, hey, you know what? That garbage can is overflowing, and trash is falling on the floor. Maybe I should take this shit out and put it in the trash can. They'll just keep piling on top of it. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of dishes in here. Let me go ahead and knock this out. Man, this floor is a mess. Let me go ahead and sweep it real quick. Bathroom's a mess. Let me go ahead and clean the bathroom. There's not one person that will go to the other siblings and, hey, why didn't you take care of that? Hey, I'm going to do the dishes. Can you do the bathrooms? There's not one sibling. Even the oldest don't do it. And so that's hard. Being a problem solver. Sometimes for the kids, you are the main problem solver. You are the main problem solver. You are the person they look to when something goes wrong. And I think for the most part, I think a lot of my kids are the problem solvers. They just do things and they figure things out in real time and take care of things. And some of them just don't. The phone still rings. I got a flat tire. Hey, the car's not starting. Hey, this is happening. They don't figure it out in real time. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I'll try to take care of this. Maybe I'll work that. I don't want to make the extra phone call. I want to try to figure this out on my own. And I want them to be able to do that too. So that's the trouble with the delegation process, and where I can get better at being a better delegator. All that being said, there is work that I need to be able to do to be able to bring some of these elements home and make my home better, because we could be more efficient and we can be more detailed and we can be more organized, and this home could be a lot more warm. And also it just stops, my wife want to flip over tables because shit's not done. It stops me from being able to flip over tables because things aren't done. Then we get into that yelling phase and we get into that arguing phase about trying to make sure that things are done and asking why they're not. Then it stresses the kids out. The kids is like, oh, dad's yelling again. Oh, mom's yelling again. Instead of instituting that. The main problem I had is that I'm a person that tries to fix everything at the same time. It's the new year, new me complex. I'm going to just reconstruct my whole life and make a whole new life and do all of these things. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get in the gym. I'm going to eat right. I am going to read more. I am going to meditate. I'm going to do just a whole laundry list of things that you want to run down, and you're trying to fix everything at the same time. Which is very problematic, because all it's going to do is the system's going to break. You're going to get lazy, or you're going to not feel well, or something's going to put you in a mental space where you don't want to do anything, or you don't want to do that particular activity, and then all of the shit falls apart. And that's the same thing as far as this whole list of things that I need to get better at home. I want to institute all of these. They go from 0 to 100. Like, they go from not having anything as far as to worry about as far as how to what time to do and all this stuff, and then I'm making just a straight baseline schedule of everything. You are supposed to do this on Wednesdays, you do this on Tuesdays and at this time, and we got to make sure that we got to do this and this and that, and running all of this stuff by. It's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't. When you try to do all of these things, that's what creates stress too. Instead of doing things, in moderation. And so now I have to pick and choose certain things to be able to work on, to manage it and implement it and master that. And then once it's mastered, then we can move on. When it becomes part of the system, it becomes part of what you do as far as your daily work with that. Then you can start to implement more things. But you cannot just implement sweeping changes and then expect everybody to be able to work at this high standard, and everybody to be able to, in your home, to be able to do things at this high standard when they got 17 different things that they're trying to figure out and that they're trying to do new that were not being implemented the week before. So finding and pinpointing things that I can get better. I got to start with the listening part. I got to start maybe with the planning part. Being proactive is definitely a thing that I have to be able to work on too, because you got to see things down the road. I am a procrastinator, and I have to fix that too. I'm a bad procrastinator. I don't get things. Sometimes things become oh shit moments because I don't take care of them in real time. Put that off. Then it's in your face. Then what? What are you going to do? Then you have to react. Then you have to react stressfully. Then it makes everybody upset, and then you got to fix things, and then you got to shell out more money than you want to shell out because you waited. Now there's a late fee. Now there's this, and maybe it's compounded the problem because now this other problem has happened because you didn't fix the problem before that. That's what proactivity can get you. Proactivity got me down here to be able to do this podcast this morning. Because I could have just been like, I'll just do it next week. But I did it today. And that's what needs to be worked on. Got to figure that out. And I have to give myself grace because I know these things take time. Especially with all of the things that I do. I do a lot. I got a lot of things that I'm juggling. A lot of things I got to get better. And with you looking at all of these things on the horizon, there's so much stuff coming at you. It's almost like you're a one-man army and you're facing the Romans. It's like you just one person and you're looking at all of these things coming at you, and you have to be able to prioritize and figure out, okay, well, I got to kill this dude here, and then I'm gonna kill this one, and then I'm gonna hurt this one. You got to do all of that stuff in real time, but you have to manage it. And if you cannot manage yourself, then you cannot manage your home. If you cannot manage yourself, then you cannot manage your building. If you cannot manage yourself, you cannot manage the things that you want to do. You can't manage your hope. You can't manage your dreams. You can't manage your goals. You can't manage your finances. That all starts with managing you and having discipline and having, the wherewithal to want to make things function and be better, and just not be too tired to do it the right way. Not be too tired to give that person that opportunity to be able to listen to them. Not be too tired to plan and look ahead and forecast. And again, that's the brilliance of doing what you do at work. Great manager at work, horrible home manager. I'd fire that guy. I would fire that guy. Just tough, man. It's tough. But it's my fault because, like I said, the energy level that goes into it, and when you unplug it, it's like I've learned to be done with it. There was so long that when I worked retail, it's like I couldn't unplug. My day was never over. My phone was constantly ringing. My mind was constantly going. It was like it's never over. But I wanted to be able to make that change and make it so where I can unplug and be done. So it's not very enticing for me to go out of one situation where you're trying to run everything and you're trying to manage all these levers and then come home and then want to manage all of these levers. Unfair to leave those devices to my wife because I think she does a great job with trying to do that too. And she has a full-time job too. It ain't like she ain't like she's a stay-at-home. She's out here working 40 hours a week, managing things at her job, and then come home and then have to figure the house out. So, it's going to be some work as far as being able to figure out the cadence of all of that stuff and do those things better. I'm committed, this coming year to being able to do that and to figure some of those things out. I just want to be able to do 2 or 3 things great. And if I could do those 2 or 3 things great, then it will allow me to be able to be better, even better in certain spaces. Not necessarily be great, but I want to be better in certain spaces. But I do want to master a couple of things. And once that gets done, then it will make my life a lot easier. I didn't realize how much time I had when I was at home until I started breaking down the things that I was doing in regards to music, in regards to the gauntlet, and in regards to podcasting. And I just made a nice little schedule as far as all that stuff and what I wanted to do. And thinking, man, I can bulk record. I can do this. I can do that. I can mix and master here at this time. And then I could go ahead and do the clips for the gauntlet and, do recruitment for the gauntlet and do that stuff. And then I could record some music on this day and do all of that. And then still be able to have time. Like, you still have time to be able to do your chores around the house and take care of things that need to be done around the house and give time to your kids, give time to your significant other. There is time. There is time. Even if I got to schedule the things that I need to do off hours, there is time for me to do that. I just have to understand the management and managing my energy levels to make sure that I'm there. And sometimes being exhausted is not enough of a reason to not get things done. You just got to be able to just power through, take care of those things, and then look back on it and be like, hey, you know what? I'm glad I did that. Because if I didn't just push through and do that, then I would have had a whole bunch of more work to do. And you know where I do that at? Work. I do that at work. All right. Time to do some housekeeping. Couple of things of note to let y'all know. The Gauntlet Beat Battle Season 8 is coming. I am one of your judges. I go by Nightlife on the Gauntlet Beat Battle. Submissions are open, so get your spot now. 16 producers, 1 season, 1 champion. It is going to be fantastic. If you had an opportunity to check out the Halloween battle and the Christmas battle, shout out to Zerze and shout out to Keys the Mogul for their wins in our respective battles for our holiday battles. If you got to check those out and you got to see the quality of those battles and the type of creativity that you're going to see, it only gets better with watching the Gauntlet B battle. It only gets better. So make sure you tune in. If you want to check that out, you can go to YouTube, Gauntlet B battle. You can check out previous battles to get yourself accustomed to what's going on. If you are a battler, great opportunity for you to be able to see what you would be up against and what you need to do and how you can prepare for that. Do that. Do that. Here, you want to be able to check out the stuff that we have going for the Gauntlet B battle. I mean, for not the Gauntlet B battle, Jesus. For the Follow the Leader podcast and for any other of our podcast, 4-Bar Loop, What the Podcast, Gauntlet Access Live, Plain Black Rapper podcast. All those things up. Previous podcast, subscribe. YouTube, at Mitchell Media Review 524, or don't scan the QR at the top corner because there's no QR at the top corner. Don't scan that. So check that out. I think that I've talked y'all ear off enough. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for the Follow the Leader podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, like I told you. Looking forward to those guests being able to come on. And if you're interested in being a guest, please make sure that you check out. Go to Mitchell Media Review at gmail.com. Email there. Send your email there. You can email questions. You can email comments. You can email if you want to be a guest. Again, my qualifications for being a guest is a leader or a mentor. If you're a leader or a mentor, I would love to be able to have you on the show. If you don't do any of those things, I'm not doing artist interviews on this particular platform. See Plain Black Rapper podcast. And that's going to be the interview platform from now. So check that out. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. And as I always say, you got 3 options when it comes to leadership. You can either lead, you can follow, or you can get the hell out the way. Peace.